Well, there are the very distinctive features of Kohler from the Texas Rowing Center in America. And I guess she must be the favoured sculler in this race. Imogen Grant, the Cambridge University Boat Club sculler, closest to us. Kohler the more experienced at 31, Imogen Grant a mere 26 years of age, but she's packed in so much experience at that 26 years mark.
Yeah, she's an incredible athlete. She was in the lightweight women's double last year in Tokyo that narrowly missed out on not just a medal, but winning gold in that blanket finish with 4 boats. Decided to take some time out for her studies and to go back to Cambridge, and she said she was going to have some fun this year. It's not bad, is it, to make a Henley final, having a bit of fun?
It's not fun. And, she's got a chance against Kohler. You would think Kohler, she got the bronze in the Worlds in 2019 behind Sunita Puspura and Emma Twigg. So she was going strong. She was, I think, desperately disappointed not to make the final in the Tokyo Olympics, ended up finishing 9th. But she's such an experienced sculler. She's performed at the highest level in World Championships, as had Imogen Grant. But there's the difference in weights between Imogen Grant is a lightweight, so that means that she rows at a kind of maximum of 59 kilos. And Kohler weighs in at about 78 kilograms. So how much difference will that make in these conditions?
Yeah, I think it's pretty even today. We talked about the following win potentially, so I think that kind of evens things out, where if you'd have done this a few days ago with that headwind, it may have had more of an impact.
This is the final of the Princess Royal Challenge Cup between Kohler of the USA on the left-hand side of your picture and Imogen Grant from Cambridge University Boat Club, Great Britain, on the right-hand side of your picture. Both scullers very close in times for this race, and it's going to be fascinating to see how the lighter Imogen Grant fares against Kohler. I think the way Imogen Grant races, she's so gutsy, she's so aggressive, she will go out and try and lead this race, Mark.
She just keeps going. She's just one of those athletes that never seems to die or fade. She's super consistent and obviously hugely talented. So as you said, it'd be really interesting how she matches up, but she's extremely quick in a single as well. Obviously not, that's obvious because she's made a final today, but she is the fastest lightweight we have in the country leading into the Tokyo Games.
So which of these two women will put their names on the Princess Royal Trophy? There's been some fantastic female scullers, the likes of Emma Twigg, the Olympic champion, Mirka Napkova, the Olympic champion, Ekaterina Castle, the Olympic champion, Rumina Nekova, the Olympic champion, and Maria Brandin won this race so many times in the early years. Don't think she ever made Olympic champion, but the quality of names on this Princess Royal Challenge Cup is such that one of these two women will now add a fresh name to the trophy. Who will it be? Kohler just coming through there. A little longer push off at the back end from Kohler there, Mark.
Yeah, she's just got that, obviously being the taller athlete, she's got that more range, and she's really maximising that right now as she starts to just inch out on Imogen. But with a single scull, you can change speed so quickly. So even if you're down half a length or a length, you can really kind of eject up and kind of move the cadence or rate up. But it's about staying in contact. Is
there much Imogen Grant can do about this move by Kohler? Will she try and counter it? Will she have a different tactic to the race tactics that she's thought she might employ for this race?
Well, I think normally when you do the side-by-side kind of multi-lane racing, you'll have a set plan, but then you've got other boats to feed off. I think with match racing, the kind of gladiatorial racing we have at Henley, I think you have to be more flexible. And actually, if things aren't going to plan, actually, how do you change it quickly? Because you don't want the gap or your opponent to move away and lose contact and be out the race.
Kohler's been loving her time since the Tokyo Olympics at the Texas Rowing Center, coached down there by Peter Mansfield, the former Dresdner Ruder Club athlete. And Kohler loves it down in Texas. It's a small group, there's about 7 scullers, it's mixed, there's a great atmosphere. And she's really enjoying her time down there in Texas, and she is on the right of your picture, Imogen Grant on the left, and Kohler probably has a 1-length lead over Grant at this stage of the race.
And she is tapping along at a high cadence here. If you look at the two athletes, Kara's definitely slightly higher on the rating than Imogen, and that's paying into her favor right now. She seems to be kind of gradually increasing.
This race will, if Kohler should win it, will make up for the disappointment of finishing in the B final of the Olympics. 9th place for Kohler. It's not what she wanted. She wanted that Olympic medal. But Kohler, of course, has raced, beat Ginevra Stone, the Olympic silver medalist for the US women's singles slot, and Ginevra Stone took that silver in Rio. So she can punch at the highest levels, this woman.
And I suppose that shows the class of her. She's on song, and she can deliver those sort of performances, even not to exactly the same level, but close to it. She's going to be really tough to beat today.
Imogen Grant on the left of your picture brilliantly stroked the Cambridge boat race crew this year with a fantastic stern pair combination of her with the legendary Grace Prendergast behind her. They look fantastic, the two of them working in tandem. And I don't know how she does it, the rowing with her medical studies. You know, she's had to be up at 5:15 in the morning at Cambridge. She's had to complete the medical studies. She's not in the women's lightweight double this year. That is a different boat with Emily Craig and Maddie Arlott. But I reckon that Imogen will be doing the lightweight women's single at the World Championships this year.
I'd be surprised if she isn't. You know, the caliber athlete she is. You know, she's said she wants some fun. You know, it's a tough event to go into if you want fun as a single, but it works with what she's got going on with her studies and doing the boat race and other things in her life right now. So it kind of gives that flexibility.
So Cara Kohler at the top of your picture, she's moved out to what I guess a 2-length lead mark over Imogen Grant. That looks a pretty useful lead to have at this stage of the race. I can't see Kohler blowing up or anything like Mahe Drysdale did in that final against Cheryl Borsch, but she has kept that high rate of striking throughout. Nice clearance off the back end too with those blades.
She does scull really well, really efficient, uses her length really well. She collects, shoulders are nice and relaxed. Kind of textbook sculling, so yeah, it's really nice to watch.
The Californian went to University of Cal Berkeley. Also competed in the 2012 Olympic Games as a youngster, where she won a bronze medal in the American quad. So she has an Olympic medal in her back pocket. Will she add the diamonds to her palmares today? Imogen Grant on the left of your picture. There she is, Imogen Grant, the 26-year-old from Cambridge University Boat Club. She has battled everything this year. She's battled to win the boat race. She's battled to combine her medical studies with her rowing training, and she has battled this singles race down the course with Cara Kohler.
But Cara's kept such a great line there. You haven't seen her like stray at all. She's kind of moving, being consistent. She's still tapping it. She's still keeping on top of it, keeping it light.
She really wants this, Kohler, doesn't she? I think she can see her name on that Princess Royal Challenge Cup trophy. And there she comes. I look ahead, and the scullers have something just under 500 metres to go. That's probably something around about 1:50 for Imogen Grant to put in a final sprint. Can she do anything from that far back, Mark?
It's really difficult. I haven't seen Imogen do something from this position before. So it'd be interesting whether she can get back on terms. But like any kind of race, especially in a final, if someone breaks contact with you, you use the term breaking the string, you're not being towed, it's really hard to get back on terms. But the next, as you said, the next minute and a half is so important to give herself a chance to try and put Cara under pressure.
Imogen Grant got that really punchy style of sculling. You can see even on this difficult water at Henley, the blades coming clear every stroke off the finish. Out forwards, nice, easy, relaxed flow. Maybe she's moving back on Kohler a little bit. I think perhaps the water's going to run out for Imogen Grant, but she is making a little bit of an impression on the Californian. Imogen Grant there, 26 years of age. She is an amazing fighter. She has come back a little bit on Kohler coming through the enclosures. If she could just feel that overlap, that might give her a little bit of extra motivation, Mark.
Yeah, and that's the thing, you want to feel that contact, and right now, unfortunately, she doesn't have that. So Cara has done exactly what she wanted to do, taking control of the race, really dictated from very early on, and give her that clearance and space to just sit and watch Imogen right behind her.
Yeah, she's rated higher than I've seen her scull in previous World Cup contests or World Championships. I think it's done her really well in this race. So Cara Kohler will become the champion of the Princess Royal Challenge Cup in 2022. Arms aloft, Imogen Grant, what a brave scull from the 26-year-old Cambridge University Boat Club sculler. And the two women will no doubt congratulate each other. She knows she's been in a race, Kohler, didn't she?
Oh, yeah, very much so. And you talked about the high cadence. You know, she kept that throughout. And maybe that's a new thing she's trying, and definitely worked today as she came off that start, came into that base pace, but kept it high. So she was kind of tapping it along, and she was, which is unusual. You'd always think the lightweight would potentially rate higher than the heavyweight athlete, but not in this case. And it looked really well, went really well, and it looked really efficient.